I just bought a significant amount of Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin, and Solana. But today, in my video, I'll also be showing you how I'm adding to my bots that are making me money on these crypto coins every single day. I'm going to be explaining a little bit more about how it works, what the key features of it are, and why I think this is literally the best method I've ever found for just continuous gains over time. But it will all make sense as the video progresses. Let me just tell you, I've been doing some very serious buying these dips. I've been saying it over on Twitter, buying XRP below $2, I believe 80 that it went to. It's a freaking blessing. And some will not be able to see it on the short term, but for the most part, if you don't got that vision, you don't got it. There's not that much to say about it. I personally think it'll be a blink of an eye before ETH is above $5,000. And even though Ethereum has been doing really good recently, I think it's going to do even way better in the near term. So today, I just want to quickly show you what I tend to think is the best strategy going forward. And it mostly revolves around my bot trading. Now, as you guys may have found out over the past couple of weeks, the most important thing I've been focusing on is making sure that these dips are utilized. The problem is, let me just quickly show you. I've got about $250,000. It's a little bit more. It's about, I'm going to say, let's say $300,000 in these bots sitting right here, times 5 or so. So let's just say it's about $1.5 million worth of bots. On the opposite side though, I've got about the same here over on 𝗫𝗀 in positions. I think we've got about, let's say $2 million in positions here over on 𝗫𝗀. The problem being, which one is better? Is it better to open up just long positions, buy more ETH, or is it better to go the more, I guess, volatile route, which I'll explain to you in a second. Theoretically speaking, the safer route. At the end of the day, I'm not giving you financial advice. These are my thoughts, right? Nothing is essentially safe. Everything is risky by going for bots. What are the benefits? Well, guys, first of all, if this is something you're interested in, I've got a link right here down below to Payonix as you get some nice bonuses for just signing up. Use the first link. If you want an extra bonus for depositing and all that stuff, there's actually a second link with specific bonuses. And if you want to copy all the ones I've got, you can find a list to all the bots I have, how they've been doing, all the percentages, etc. So let me explain. Right? The benefit of the bots is the fact that as the market moves up and down, up and down, up and down, we make money on the volatility. Why? Well, if we take a look at just one of these bots, 𝗓𝗓, for example, here, we take a look. If we go to placed, we can see as the market moves down, it's going to be buying at any one of these spots all automatically, because that's essentially what the bot is made to do. It's going to buy as the market moves down, and it's going to sell as the market moves up. Now, there's two things. One is grid profits, one is trend P&L, or remember, making money off of the position going up. So let me show you, right? We've got a long on, for example, World Liberty Financial here. This long is partially sold off and bought and sold off to a certain extent with all these right here. On the opposite side, it always keeps a set amount of these coins just long that you see in the trend. The grid profits is what it's been able to cash out throughout time. The trend P&L is just for the majority of your position that goes up in value. And that's why I said, theoretically speaking, this, a normal long, can be better if you buy it and the market just moves up like crazy. Because if there's not that much volatility, it's just mostly up and up and up and up. Well, if you're buying a leveraged position here, for example, XRP with 10x, well, it's $100,000 times 10, 1 million straight away. If we take a look at the bots, even if we look at some of my bigger bots right here, for example, here, the $42,000 times 5, so it should be $200,000, or just logically, let's just say that XRP is $3. This is about $110,000, let's say, $120,000 worth of a long. Well, but it should be more than 200,000, right? But that's because it keeps a lot of money to potentially buy the dips. So that's what you can see, because it's theoretically speaking slower and safer, and because it wants to buy as the market moves down, it's going to be theoretically speaking a little bit lower of a leverage, which might miss you out on some gains. But it just depends, because at the end of the day, if we take a look at Ethereum and how the price has gone, right? If we take a look at when Eric Trump said, oh, it's a really good time to buy, I believe that was somewhere around the $3,600 mark. The price afterwards went all the way down to like $1,300 over the past or next couple of months, right? Well, I already had an ETH long open at 3,200 or 2,800, something like that. As the market moved down, there was no real benefit for me with my long. It's not on here, it's on Bybit, but it's about the idea. There was no real benefit for me. And even now, it's looking good, it's doing amazing, sure, but only is it doing better if I either buy dips manually, which I did right here, right? And I will be doing again today. Or, and this is the opposite side, if, I guess the market just moves up hard. Whereas on the opposite side, if I were to open this in bots, I have to make this video sometimes, they will automatically be buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling all the time, meaning that unless the market moves straight up, this is almost always going to be significantly better. Because again, in this period of time here, where the market moved down hard, this bot would have bought so much. As the market moved up, it would have sold so much that we would be in a way better situation, especially if we open up some coin margin bots like I've been doing recently here. But today, I just want to quickly show you how I'm adding to the bots on my own things and how to go about that. So let me just quickly show you here. For example, I've got a $20,000 Ethereum bot. I put $20,000 in times 5, so it's acting as about $100,000. And you can see it's about $30,000 in the plus, right? Now, because I basically wanted to see this all as challenges, I really did not want to add to the bots ever. I did not really want to change anything, just to showcase how much the 20K throughout the last month and a half would have delivered me in profit. You can see here about $3.4 thousand in just quote unquote income. And then the position itself went up about $26,000. But we've actually gone from about a $3,000 Bitcoin to, Ethereum to about a $4,600 Ethereum in the process. So, okay. But if I wanted to add, what can I do? Well, there's actually just a profit that says here add investment. So let's say, for example, I wanted to add $10,000. How would that look? Well, the only negative thing is that I'm lowering my average entry price. So if I now add $10,000, it's going to go times 5, so about $50,000 I'm adding to this. I can also, by the way, put the exact price I want to buy at, but let's just say I do it right here, right? And I add $10,000 right there. You can see it increases my liquidation price. Why is that? Well, because the latest price here of 4,600 per ETH is way higher than where I originally started my position at 3,000. If I now press OK, we give it a little second, it's canceling, whatever it's doing, and bam, there we go. Now, relatively, the total profit is now less. You can see, right? It's only 100% instead of 150%. But that's because I changed the actual investment from 20,000 to 30,000. I've added to my entire investment portfolio though, and that's honestly what I think most people should probably be cooking with. And if I was you, depending on your own personal preferences, I would also try, and this is not finished advice, these are my thoughts, one of these challenges, for example, on BTC or on ETH. I'm even thinking of opening one up maybe later today or tomorrow. And just try a challenge of sorts where you actually compound. Specifically, if you're smart about it, you can compound in smarter times or in lower prices. And in this case here, I could take, for example, this 3.5K worth of profit we made out and put it right back in. And that way, the 3.5K can again act as an actual ETH purchase and then purchase more ETH with that and just continue. Now, again, I could time this a little bit better. For example, right now, ETH is 4,600. It's relatively quite high, but it's also not that big of a purchase, right? We're only buying 10,000 times 5, so about $50,000 here. And the majority of that is not going to be bought straight away. And I want to buy so much more. I just wanted to give you one example of how this would look like and what I think I should just keep doing to these bots here, especially when I have some more free dollars in the account. Why? Because at the end of the day, why would I buy more ETH normally when I can also put it in a position like this that can keep generating me more dollars at the same time? And if I did not want it, I don't want dollars, I just want more coins. Remember, there's also the opposite side. I can right now, and I'm going to be doing that as well, deposit more XRP, more ETH, and more BTC. See, I put, let's just look at the ETH one here, 0.5 ETH in. And you can see, it's generated me about 0.1 ETH on top. It's not dollars, it's just in ETH coins. Had I deposited, for example, 10 ETH, well, in this case here, I'd be up about 20% of that, so I'd be up 2 ETH in just the past month or so. From the price going up from 3,700 to 4,800. You can see, right? The ETH price went up. You think, oh, you made a lot of dollars, I don't even care about how much it is in dollars. Theoretically speaking, we're up 50% in dollars, even though ETH only went from 3,800 to 4,600. I care just about the fact that it's automatically generating me more ETH. So it's such a beautiful thing in that aspect. The fact that we're up only 20% in coins, but because of the way we did it, we're up 50% in dollar terms. I just love it this way. I really, I'm a really big fan of this. But it's the fact that I only found out about it about last month that I've not been adding a crazy amount to it. But I think it deserves more. It deserves to really be focused on, especially if you have coins laying around anyway, because if you're bullish on them, which is why you have these coins, why not go about these methods this way? And so I'm even thinking of maybe I should deposit, actual XRP, not just a small 5,000 stash, but just actual box loads worth, because why not? I don't know. If I have the XP anyway, what's really a negative thing? The only thing is, I already have significant positions here that I've showcased, and I stated before, my whole goal was to make it kind of copyable with numbers that people can really understand and relate to, instead of just flexing on people, making everything too large. But sometimes I think, no, I should just do exactly what I think is best. But yeah, also that's the duality in me sometimes. But anyway, I hope it made sense. I really think it does for most people, but still for some reason, a lot of people keep asking, hey, can you show more about these bots? Hey, can you explain more about these bots? I hope that today's video gave a little bit more of a light as to why I think it's so good. And if there's something you still don't understand, like, hey, but I'm really honestly thinking, which part is there to not understand? It's so freaking good, it makes too much sense. Sometimes the only problem can be, you want to have it for every single coin you think could do well or could be volatile. And as long as your underlying idea is that it's not going to be down only, because obviously then you might need to make a short bot, which I don't do, but hey, you could try out with, then generally speaking, this just works so freaking well. And I really think the only thing I have to do over the next few weeks or months is just keep adding more. That's literally the only thing I keep doing, and it keeps working. Why? Well, because even if the price comes down, as long as you can defend these levels, and what I mean with that is these liquidation prices by adding more margin, for example, you're in a beautiful position. And you can see, as some of these progress, as time moves on, it tends to be the grid profits are so high. If you look at some of the earlier ones, for example, you can see my earlier XRP bot has about 52% worth of grid profits over the past few months. This, it can almost never get wrecked anymore, just because it's going to grid out so much over time. And that's the goal for all of them, to keep them open for such long amounts of time that you don't need to have any extra margin in there, and they can't really get to a wrecked spot anymore. Theoretically speaking, I could keep this open for multiple bull runs as well if I wanted to, but I think it's nice to have maybe one set of bots for really only this run, and some potentially for forever even, it's possible, because you can understand the logic behind it. If it makes money on the volatility, even if the market moves down a lot, just like with this 10K to 1 million challenge, right? Just take a look at it for fun. It was up there. It's never been in profit ever since. So the last time I compounded, it was in profit. It's been only going down ever since. Still, we've made $3,500 over the past, let's say, month or so from just the volatility alone, right? From just the fact that it's buying and selling all the time. Just it keeps going on. It doesn't stop. And that's the beauty in it. You can see if you look through the transactions of today, how many it's already done and how much profit we've been able to make throughout that. All today, right? You can see how many times it's already been buying and selling, potentially, mostly buying here in this sense here, but potentially buying and selling, buy, sell, buy, sell. It's trying to always sell its thing pretty quickly, or at least you can see it, you can check, whatever. It's doing these, what you can call them rounds. So it's basically buying and waiting for its specific sell. And if you look at the overview, you can see exactly where it wants to sell that at. But the key basically being here that for the most part, it still transacts like crazy, even if the market is not up a lot. Because you can say that XRP has gone down significantly from our average price here being about 345. So we've gone down a lot. But still, even though we're also down in the position, we're still gritting out those profits. One of the best things I've ever found. I don't want to make this video too long. I just want to do a little bit more explaining that I'm buying more ETH, XRP, Solana, every single thing here right now. You might say, oh, Dusty, it's too high. I think it's fine over a longer period of time. And I think I'll regret it by not going crazier and crazier. And I told y'all I need to buy more every single day, or I'm going to look back at this run with heavy regret. That's how I do it. You don't need to follow me, but that's just my update that I'm giving y'all. And that's about it for this little crypto update.